is up, BBN? We are back for another episode of JD's Wildcat World. It's a Valentine's Day edition, and let's just say I loved what I saw last night. The Cats bounced back and beat the Ole Miss Rebels by a score of 75-63. And we're trying to get right into it here. The defensive effort looked a lot better last night. That's something that I really took from this game, even going back, rewatching some of it. We had the defensive effort that had been lacking these last three home losses, and I stated in the podcast and on my post on Facebook that this was a gotta-have-it game, and we got the win. The Cats beat Ole Miss in Rupp, and I think the big story out of the game was Ugonna Audienso's 10 blocks. He did very well on the defensive side of the ball. Didn't even play that many minutes. He started the game but didn't play like all game long. I thought there was a time during that first half when he had 7 in the first half that I thought he had a chance to break Nerlens Noel's 12 block record against Ole Miss. Wild enough, but he played super well on the defensive side of the ball, even had a few dunks. I was pulling up the box score here. He had 24 minutes, so 10 blocks in 24 minutes on 3 of 3 shooting. Very solid game for him. Justin Edwards was my pick to be MVP. He comes out, scores the first 7 points of the game, ends with 12. I think there's an argument that he was the MVP. 4 of 7 shooting, 4 of 5 from the line. I see Justin Edwards turning this corner. We've all been patient. Some of us more patient than others, including me. I remember one episode saying, it might be time to, go on. And Cal did that a couple games, and I think that's where things changed. Cal kind of, in that South Carolina game, let him play 22 minutes and, basically was, if you're going to do something, show me. He didn't. Then a couple games cut back on Edwards' minutes. And since then, Justin's found his role. He's playing a lot better, and we definitely need him if we're going to pull the win out on Saturday. But I want to shout out him. Antonio Reeves, a quiet 15 points, 7 rebounds, led the team in rebounding with 7. Only shot 1 of 5 from 3, 6 of 12 from the field. But we played such good defense, we didn't really have to have these scoring outbursts. Reed Shepherd, 13 points, 5 assists, 5 steals. That's equally as impressive to me as Ugo's 10 blocks. 5 steals is incredible. Just goes back to playing fundamental, solid defense. And we did that. The Cats did that last night, only giving up 63 points. It was Ole Miss's second least amount of points scored in a game this year. And they're usually a very high-scoring team. They come in, they came into SEC play 18-0. They've lost 6 games in conference, so that dropped them to 18-6. The Cats now 17-7, headed towards Auburn. I felt like we did a very good job on Allen Flanagan. Held him to 10 points and 5 rebounds. He did have 6 assists, but I thought that him and Matt Morrell would lead in scoring. It turned out to be Brakefield and Morrell, who had 16 each. Just a very good job. Very solid performance. For it to be a Tuesday night game at 9 o'clock, sometimes those late games you don't play the best, but came out in the first half, put up 43 points, only gave up 29, so we were up 14 heading into the break, and I just thought the Cats played really, really solid ball for the first time in a while. Honestly, the best performance I've seen. You look back at Vandy, obviously, but we had the first time this season a full roster up until Trey injured his shoulder. I have not heard the report back on it yet, and I don't think anybody's came out with that yet. It was hope. It's minor. You could tell he was in some discomfort. Not sure how long he will be out or if he'll be out at all. We will see. Obviously not returning to the bench kind of makes you wonder, but Cal did say in the post game, Coach Cal said that he had x-ray, but he did not know that to the extent that Trey's injured. So we'll all BBN will be waiting on that report to see if we're going to have a full team on Saturday. Wish Trey the best. He he didn't score a lot, but man, he rebounded very efficiently. Had 6 rebounds in only 21 minutes. I want to see that 3-point jumper get back. He missed a couple bad, and they were wide open once again. I'm not sure what's going on with the shot. They were money at the beginning of the year. So we need that Trey Mitchell back. But hey, first game back, I thought he did pretty decent. 5.6 boards, 2 assists, only 2 turnovers. DJ Wagner still getting work back in. Only played 18 minutes, had 4 points and 4 assists. 1 of 4 from the field. Still got to the rim. Dished it, like the 4 assists come from getting to the rim and dishing it. He's better than anybody on the team at doing that, in my opinion. Aaron Bradshaw, I want to shout out him, who had 2 major blocks. And that's what Bradshaw's going to have to do. It seems like his offensive game isn't honestly what I thought it was. I figured he would give more output offensively, but, really hasn't had to because we've scored the ball so well. But if he can bring the defensive intensity like he did last night, I like where we are at with our bigs. We didn't get abused. The Cisse guy for Ole Miss only had 7 points, 4 boards. I'll take that. He's a solid big guy, solid center forward, and then the Jamarian Sharp, who transferred in from Western Kentucky, he's 7'5". We held him to 0 of 3 from the field, which was huge as well. He comes off the bench for Ole Miss, and so our bigs didn't get abused like they did against Gonzaga. That was another big contributing factor to the win, I felt like. So definitely improvement from the last week. Before we move on, Rob Dillingham, 10 points and 4 rebounds and 4 assists. He actually ran point quite a bit with Wagner being out for a while. Rob ran the point in the second half, did a very good job dishing it and scoring the ball. Turnovers were a big issue early. It was weird. It was like we couldn't hang on to the ball. This team is not known for its turnovers. They're actually known for, not turning the ball over. So hopefully this is just a one-off game. Still only had 3 more than Ole Miss with as much as we turned it over. 15 total. I think that's got to be up there for most in the game. So you have a normal amount of turnovers this game. You might win by 20, honestly. So, the game felt comfortable. I never felt like we were in danger of losing once we got out to the big lead in the first half. We held Ole Miss to 5 of 22 from the 3. That's another huge deal. The Cats shoot 6 of 18. I still would like to take more threes, but when you're up like that, playing the defense that they were, I understand it held them to 37.5% from the field. Now that's a number that if you can hold teams to that percentage with the offense that the Cats have, you look out. We'll see on Saturday if we continue the defensive intensity like it was last night. But hopefully we can keep defending like that because there's a high ceiling for this team if we defend the way we defended last night. They out-rebounded Ole Miss 37-34, and fast break points had 14. I'd like more than that, but you notice the game changed in the first half when we got out and ran in transition. And if you all have listened to me before, any this season, I have said that's the number one key to this team. I said it again last week, and I'm going to continue saying it. When we got out and ran in transition, the game changed last night as well. It was tied. It was 2-point game, 4-point game early in the first half. We made them miss and ran. And easy bucket after easy bucket. We either scored or got fouled most of the time in transition. I'm still of the opinion that is the key for this team as the season goes on and we get into March. We've got to continue running the fast break. Led by 17 at one point. That's what I was saying. I never felt like that the game was that we were going to lose this one. Shot 76.5% from the free throw line, 13 of 17. I'll take that. Could be a little bit better, but I'll take that. And then we shot 52% from the field. So, solid performance. Like I said, it was a gotta-have-it game. Now, not only does my focus shift to Saturday, but also to the rest of the regular season. I said last week, and I'm still of the belief, that we only lose 2 more games this year, and like that would lock us into the tournament with only 9 losses. And I look at the schedule, and if you take care of business there and only lose 2 more, I think you're looking at a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, maybe a 6. We'll see. I still have no predictions as far as SEC tournament seeding because, like I said, the teams are going to beat up on each other. If you can go steal one this Saturday at Auburn, you're looking at it, and that would put you, let's say Auburn wins tonight against South Carolina, which Auburn's pretty big favorites. That would put both of them at 9-3 going into the game against us on Saturday. We're sitting at 7-4 in conference. So, you win that, and you're a half game back of potentially second place in the conference. So that's what I'm saying when people are saying that we're playing on Thursday guaranteed of the SEC tournament. I'm not in that camp yet. I still think that the double bye is possible, and I even think the double bye in the SEC tournament is likely. I think we will have a top 4 seed in the SEC tournament before it's all over with. I doubt we win the conference, but folks, we're only 2 games behind first place. So, I mean, it's not likely to go steal one at Auburn. They're almost unbeatable at home. They're a totally different team at home. The crowd's going to be rocking. College game day is going to be there. But it would be an absolute huge victory for the Cats if we go down to Auburn and win. I had some people text me last night that they're confident that we win. I'm not in that camp because I've seen only, I think, 1 Coach Cal team in the last 6 years win at Auburn. Since Auburn's had Bruce Pearl and have got up to where they are now, it's even harder to win down there. You can have a great team and lose down there. So they're 12-0 at home this year. They're 3-4 on the road. So, man, I wish this game was at home. It seems like we do kill Auburn at home every year. I think last year we ran them off the floor by 30+ at home. And, big-time matchup. Big-time SEC matchup. And I'm looking forward to watching South Carolina and Auburn tonight to see what Auburn looks like at home against the number 11th ranked team in the country. But, it won't be as rocking as it will be on Saturday with college game day in town. And let's see what these young cats are made of. I don't think they're going to get blew out. I think it'll be a close game. And could they win? Absolutely. Absolutely. They could win, but I'm of the camp it's not likely just because of where it is. I think we are more talented than Auburn. I think if this game was at Rupp Arena, we win by 10-15. But it is not. It is at Auburn. So, let's get into the little scouting report here. Auburn is led by Janai Broome, just averaging 16 points and 9 rebounds a game. Transferred in from Morehead State. We played against him last year, held him in check. But like I said, that game was at home. I don't remember playing down there last year. I do need to look that up to see. I think we might have just played them once and at home. But if we did play down there last year, I'm sure they beat us. But like I said, Janai Broome, KD Johnson is still there. It feels like he's been there for 45 years. But he is still on the roster somehow. This has to be like his 6th or 7th year. But he's their microwave guy for sure. He can go on hot streaks. He doesn't currently start for them right now, but he can come off the bench in a hurry and fill it up. I'm only seeing 1 game against Auburn last year. and we beat them by 32 points. So that's what I originally thought. I thought we only played them once. But dominant performance at home last year against them. That's when I thought, this team really took off. Or last year's team really took off. They got them to 20 wins, and then they go on the road and win at Arkansas later on. So, could we win? Absolutely. Kentucky does own the all-time series, 93-22. All those from Auburn are basically since Bruce Pearl got there and elevated them. 10, 15 years ago when you played Auburn, that was the automatic win if you're Kentucky. That's not been the case the last little bit. They've got dudes that can flat out play. Jalen Williams is another guy, 13 points a game, 5 boards, shooting it almost 40% from the three-point line. That's a guy that we're really going to have to focus in on. I don't know who you put on him. I hope that Trey's back. I could see Reeves getting some run on him as well, but he's big. He's a big guy who can step out and shoot. Like I said, they've got guys all down the roster that they're very balanced. But at the same time, they are at home. I really like our chances as far as scoring a lot because Auburn strikes me as a team that don't play too much defense. They're kind of like us. They focus more on scoring the ball. I will say, watching their game on Saturday against Florida, they looked extremely beatable. Florida was up 25 at one point, I'm pretty sure. And Florida ended up beating them by 16 points. Auburn was never really in that game. So we'll get more of a eye test on them tonight as Auburn welcomes South Carolina into their place. So as a Big Blue Nation, I'm sure several people will be watching to look, and I'll be watching as well. But, playing with house money this game, in my opinion, because I think most of Big Blue Nation expecting us to go down there and lose. But this team really doesn't care about what's supposed to happen. They're focused on one thing, and that's winning. I can't blame them. I can't blame Cal. I think Cal and his staff will have a good game plan going in to a tough environment. You're going to have to, because the crowd at Auburn seems like they're right on top of you, and it's just an extremely hard place to play. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't think a win is likely, but I've been wrong many times before. If we go down there and win, I'm not going to be shocked at all, to be honest with you. It would be a heck of a bounce-back win after the fan base has kind of, in my opinion, overreacted to the losses. But at the same time, I understand the frustration. But the good news is, like I said last week, the season's not over. They get the win against Ole Miss. We reset. It's a new season for us. Let's finish it out strong. There is a scenario if you win on Saturday that you could win out. I'm going to put that out there. And I will tell you, people overreacting last week. You can call this an overreaction, what I'm about to say, whatever you want to. But if you sneak a win out on Saturday, there is a chance to win out. And if that happens, I think we're having a whole other conversation, because if you win out, that's the possibility of winning the SEC regular season. I think that's the only way you can do it at this point. But everybody is beating everybody. Everybody in the SEC has, 3-4 losses. The first team, the team that is leading the conference right now is Alabama at 9-2. You still get them at your place. You assume that's a win, and you win the rest of the games, they're going to drop one. And if you beat them, you got the tiebreaker on them, it's still there, folks. As much as it seemed like the sky was falling last week, and you would like to have that Gonzaga and that Florida game back. I know I would, but it's in the past. But as much as it is, I think that there's still the double bye in the SEC is definitely still there. And if you somehow sneak a win out Saturday, and you win out, you're looking at potentially being the 1 or 2 in the SEC tournament. So we'll see. All that speculation. Like I said, if you want to call me, tell me it's overreaction. If you don't agree, then I mean it is what it is. But there's a path here to make some noise. There just is. The way the schedule sets up for the end of the year. I feel like we've been through the meat grinder of the schedule the last little bit. We started out with at Florida and at Texas A&M for road games in the conference, and then had to go to South Carolina, who's now ranked 11th in the country. So after this Auburn game, the schedule is very, very favorable. Of course, you end the season at Tennessee. I think we're going to be out for blood. I'll give you a little, just a preview of that. That's over a month away. I think the Cats are going to come out locked in and focused in Knoxville, and that game is always fun. So when it comes down to it, I think Auburn does beat us. Oh my God, the homer picked against the Cats. Go tell your friends. It's the main thing I get called as a homer, but as you all know, I'm a Kentucky fan through and through. I'm going to support the athletes and the coaches as much as I can, especially Coach Cal, who has, who throughout my early Kentucky fan days has been there the whole time, and I've seen him do great things, and I think he can do more great things. With this team, this roster, he's got the talent to do it. But yes, I am on Saturday picking against the Cats for the first time this season. You can't win every game. I think this is the first time I have picked against them, but it is at Auburn, and maybe I was the jinx picking them to win those 3 that they lost at home. So maybe I can work a little magic here, and we can win somehow. But I think Auburn wins, but I will say I think it's a close game. I do not see us getting blew out, to be honest with you. I don't see us blowing them out, and I don't see us blowing Auburn out. However, I don't see Auburn blowing us out either. I think either way, you're looking at a game that's 5 to 10 points the whole way through. And I think Auburn, just being the home team, pulls it out at the end. But I'm telling you right now, do not count the Cats out. I'm not doing that. Like I said earlier, I think it's a house money game. I think you show up, you stick to your game plan, you ball like you can ball, and the rest will take care of itself. I will also say, if they bring the defensive intensity that they brought last night, I do like the Cats to win. If that's the one thing I want to see it for more than one game at a time. It seems like when we play really good defense, the next game we follow it up with a mediocre defensive performance. Let's tie 2 together. This will be a heck of a time to do that. And like I said, if you bring that defensive intensity, I think there's a chance that nobody else beats you the rest of the regular season. So can we do that? We'll see. I've got hope. I want to take a shout out. I had somebody send me on Facebook a picture of Reed Shepherd at 12:30 last night, still signing autographs for fans, and that made me smile. These kids love the fans. I know the fans love this team, but we've all got to stick with them. No matter, even if we were to go out and get beat on Saturday, yes, it will stink, but you've got to stick with these kids. They want to win just as bad as we do, probably even worse. They're the ones putting all the work in daily. They've been putting the work in since the summertime. That's what they're focused on. Sure, things have not went the way that they've wanted them to go the last couple games, but that is their focus. You can tell they were locked in last night, offensively and defensively, so hopefully they can keep that up en route to a huge win on Saturday. We'll see. I will say, if we do pull out the victory, that would be time for another post-game show. It's been a while since I've done that. I think the Big Z game was the last time we did a post game. And it continues to be the number one episode that everybody has listened to. So it's the most listened to. The post game, like I said, do good. And if we were to go beat Auburn on the road, I think that would be a great time to do it. So you all stay tuned to the Facebook page and the Twitter page and everywhere to see if that happens. Just know if we win, I am planning on doing a post game. So thank you all, as always, for listening. This has been a much better, much fun, more upbeat episode. The way that we played defense last night has got me really excited. And like I said, BBN, just stick with this team. They've got way too much talent to give up. And as crazy as it seems, I still am of the opinion that everybody is beating everybody, especially in the SEC. There's not many teams you'll find with less than 5 losses, if any. So I appreciate you all. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube. And it is JD's Wildcat World. Thank you all so much for listening. And let's go shock the world and beat Auburn at Auburn. Let's go do it. I'm 100% behind this team. And the MVP, regardless, win or lose, I think Antonio Reeves is going to have a big game. Before we go, I just want to say that. Just like last year at Arkansas, going into a ruckus environment, I think he'll be the guy that we lean on, regardless of how the game goes. I think Antonio Reeves has a big game, and so we'll see. Hopefully we're celebrating a big win like we are on this episode. Have a great Valentine's Day. Hug your loved ones, tell them you love them. And like I said, I loved the performance last night. So as always, go Cats, continue listening, and let's go get a win on Saturday. Thank you all.